Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're rapidly approaching July, and I've got some absolutely crucial information that you're going to want to hear. In this video, we're diving deep into the Social Security payment schedule for July 2026, and trust me, this is shaping up to be one of the best setups we've seen all year. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I already know when I get paid. And hey, I'm not saying you don't. But here's the thing. The calendar changes every single month, which means your payment dates change every single month too. And that distinction? That's absolutely critical, especially during times when every single day and every single dollar matters. We're talking about over 75 million beneficiaries across the United States. That includes Social Security retirement benefits, SSDI, which is Social Security disability insurance, survivor benefits, spousal benefits, and SSI, or supplemental security income. Every single month, the Social Security Administration distributes over $120 billion to these 75 million plus people. That's an astronomical amount of money. We're talking about $1.50 trillion annually flowing through the system. It's staggering when you really think about it. Here's what makes July 2026 special. The calendar has aligned in a way that benefits recipients in a major way. The first day of July lands on a Wednesday, and if you've been following along with my previous videos, you know that when the first falls on a Wednesday, we get a compressed payment schedule that allows people to receive their benefits significantly earlier in the month. This is honestly my favorite setup, and I want to walk you through exactly why. The complete July 2026 payment schedule. Let's start with SSI beneficiaries, those receiving supplemental security income. SSI recipients get paid on the first of the month, period. July 1st, 2026 falls on a Wednesday. That means there's no weekend delay, no holiday disruption, just a straightforward on-time payment. You'll see that money hit your account on Wednesday, July 1st. For many of you, this is refreshing, because earlier in the year, SSI payments were pushed ahead a few days due to holidays and weekends landing on the 1st, not this month. This is clean, straightforward timing. Now, moving to the next payment group, some beneficiaries, and this is a smaller percentage, receive payments on the 3rd of the month. Who falls into this category? Generally, individuals who've been receiving benefits prior to May 1997, and also those with concurrent claims. If you're not familiar with concurrent claims, this is when someone receives Social Security or SSDI simultaneously with SSI benefits. Yes, it happens. Yes, it's a real thing. If that's you, your SSI portion comes on the 1st, and your other benefit portion comes on the 3rd. In July 2026, the 3rd falls on a Friday, which means no disruption there either. You're getting paid right on schedule. But here's where it gets really exciting, the Wednesday schedule. This is why I absolutely love when the calendar aligns this way. When the 1st of the month lands on a Wednesday, it creates a domino effect that pushes all the Wednesday payment dates earlier in the month. And for the millions of people on the Wednesday schedule, this is a game changer. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of the month, you're on what we call the second Wednesday schedule. For July 2026, that's Wednesday, July 8th. Think about that. You're barely a week into the month, and you're already receiving your full Social Security payment. When you compare this to months where the 1st falls on a Thursday or Friday, the second Wednesday could be pushed all the way to the 14th or 21st. That's a significant difference. We're talking about up to 2 weeks earlier. Next up, if your birthday lands between the 11th and 20th of the month, you're on the 3rd Wednesday schedule. For July 2026, that means Wednesday, July 15th. We're only 2 weeks and 1 day into the month, and you've already received your benefits. Again, compare this to other months. In some months, the 3rd Wednesday doesn't arrive until the 21st. That's a full 6-day difference. And during times of financial constraint, 6 days is huge. That's 6 additional days where you need to stretch your previous month's funds. But not in July, you get that money much earlier. Here's the final regular payment date. Those with birthdays between the 21st and 31st of the month fall on the 4th Wednesday schedule. For July 2026, mark your calendars for Wednesday, July 22nd. You're getting paid before the month is even 2/3 over. This is extraordinarily efficient timing. Why does early payment matter so much? You might be wondering why I'm emphasizing this so much. Let me put it plainly. If you're living on Social Security, you're likely being incredibly financially prudent. You receive one payment per month, and you have to budget that entire amount to cover 30 days of expenses. That's an extraordinarily delicate balancing act. Every single day matters. Every single dollar matters. When you can receive your payment 6 days earlier, that's 6 additional days where you have your money in your possession rather than in a government bank account. That's 6 additional days of financial flexibility. If an unexpected expense arises on day 15 of the month, it's dramatically easier to handle if you've already received your benefits versus waiting another 6 days. That's real, tangible financial relief. And let's be real, we're living through economically challenging times. The cost of living continues to rise. Inflation is affecting everything from groceries to utilities to medications. That's why programs like Social Security are so critical, and why the timing of those payments is equally critical. Understanding the Social Security payment system, there's something important I need to clarify that I see misunderstood frequently in the comments. Social Security only sends out payments on 5 specific dates during any given month. These dates are absolutely fixed. There are no additional payment days beyond these 5. The payments are distributed based on your birth date, which determines which Wednesday you're paid. The first, the third, and the second, third and fourth Wednesdays. That's it. 5 payment windows, each one sending tens of billions of dollars to millions of beneficiaries. The key thing to understand is that while the dates themselves are fixed conceptually, like the second Wednesday, the calendar date changes every month. The second Wednesday of July is the 8th, but the second Wednesday of August, that'll be the 12th. That's why it matters so much to check the calendar each month. A single day difference in how the calendar aligns can shift everything by 6 days. Real impact of calendar changes. Let me give you a concrete example of why this matters. Let's say we compare July 2026, where the first lands on a Wednesday, to a month where the first lands on a Thursday. That single one-day shift would push every single Wednesday payment date back by 6 days. That second Wednesday would be the 14th instead of the 8th. That third Wednesday would be the 21st instead of the 15th. That fourth Wednesday would be the 28th instead of the 22nd. That's not an insignificant difference. That's substantial. For someone stretching their budget across 30 days, receiving payment 6 days earlier is legitimately life-changing. It might mean the difference between paying bills on time or missing a payment. It might mean having buffer money for medications or medical appointments. What happens if a payment date falls on a holiday? Here's another critical point. The Wednesday payment dates are pretty stable. They're unlikely to shift unless one of those Wednesdays coincidentally falls on a federal holiday. However, and this is important, the first and the third frequently do land on holidays or weekends. When that happens, the payment gets bumped forward to the most recent business day. So if the first falls on a Sunday, you'd get paid on Friday the 30th of the previous month. If the third falls on a Saturday, you'd get paid on Friday instead. For July 2026, we don't have this complication. The first is a Wednesday, no holiday interference. The third is a Friday, no issues there either. The Wednesdays are all regular business days with no federal holidays interfering. This is genuinely one of the cleanest, most efficient payment months possible. The broader context. Let's zoom out for a moment. The Social Security Administration manages an absolutely astronomical responsibility. They're coordinating monthly payments to 75 million people. They're processing and distributing $120 billion monthly. They're managing 5 distinct payment streams each month, each one with different beneficiary categories and eligibility requirements. When you think about the logistics, it's genuinely impressive, but it also means that the system, while remarkably stable, is dependent on calendar mechanics, and that's something that directly affects your life. That's why I make these monthly videos, not to tell you something you don't know, but to help you understand the specifics of your personal payment schedule, and to help you recognize patterns in the calendar that might benefit or challenge you. Planning and financial management. Knowing your exact payment date is part of savvy financial management. It allows you to plan which bills you pay immediately upon receiving your benefits and which you might pay later in the month. It allows you to anticipate when you'll have money in your account and plan any discretionary spending accordingly. For many of you, this kind of detailed planning isn't optional. It's essential for maintaining your financial stability. That's why I always encourage you to check the calendar. Not because you don't know your general payment schedule, but because the specific dates matter. Mark July 8th, 15th, and 22nd on your calendar now. If you receive SSI, mark July 1st. If you have a concurrent claim, mark July 3rd as well. Knowing these dates gives you the information you need to manage your finances optimally. Looking ahead, as we move through the remainder of 2026, we'll continue analyzing the payment schedules for each month. Some months will be more favorable than others. Some months will have more compressed schedules like July, and other months will have more extended schedules. But armed with knowledge of how the system works, you'll never be surprised by your payment date. We've got a lot happening over the next few months, and I'm committed to keeping you updated on all the details that matter. If anything changes with Social Security policy, if there are legislative updates, if there are adjustments to benefit amounts, you'll hear about it here first. Important Medicare information. Before we wrap up, I want to remind everyone about a critical resource that many of you might not be utilizing. If you're turning 65, if you're currently enrolling in Medicare, if you've moved to a new location and need to understand how that affects your Medicare coverage, or if you're simply unhappy with your current Medicare plan, please reach out to Chapter There. And here's the best part, it's completely free. There's no cost whatsoever for their service. Chapter There specializes in Medicare guidance, and they've helped over 14,000 members of this community save collectively over $2.90 million in healthcare costs. The average person who contacts them saves over $1,100 annually. Let me be clear, that's not a prediction. That's the actual result. That's real money staying in real people's pockets. They'll guide you through the enrollment process. They'll help you find the plan that's best suited to your specific healthcare needs, and they'll make sure everything is completed properly and thoroughly. It's genuinely one of the best resources available to you, and it costs nothing. Final thoughts. July 2026 is setting up to be an excellent month for Social Security beneficiaries. The calendar has aligned in a way that provides optimal payment timing. Take advantage of that early payment to get ahead on your bills, to create a small financial buffer if possible, and to feel a bit more secure financially. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I'm putting out regular content about Social Security, disability benefits, retirement planning, and Medicare information. Share this video with anyone you know who receives Social Security benefits. The more people who understand these payment schedules, the better equipped everyone is to manage their finances. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you're interested in Medicare coverage or enrollment, reach out to Chapter There today. And until next time, take care of yourselves, manage your finances wisely, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.